Hi, I'm Chris from Blacksnake Systems, and today we're going to install the adjustable Mark 5 Blacksnake Systems Isolator. So this is the little head unit here that goes in the cabin of your car, and this is the isolator itself. It's a 160 amp Blacksnake Systems Isolator, and this goes in your engine bay. Also, to do this installation, you're going to need a few tools. So you're going to need a multimeter, and if you don't have a multimeter, a test light will work. You're also going to need a screwdriver, Phillips or plain, depends what screws you're going to use, pair of cutters, and a crimp tool. So first of all, we're going to mount the isolator itself. So you need to choose a spot where the isolator will be mounted against the chassis. Okay, we've chosen just here. It's a nice simple little spot for us. We've got our main and our aux battery cables already in place. We've just put some heat shrink over the end to stop them shorting anywhere. Okay, so take your isolator. We'll just get both screws started before we tighten them up. Obviously, if you need to, you can make these holes a little bit bigger and use bolts already located somewhere or something. It's up to you, but just as long as you have a decent connection to the chassis, it'll be good. And that's it. It's that simple. Rock solid. Now we're going to attach our two battery positives to our solenoid. On the solenoid is marked main positive and aux positive. So that's to these binding posts. These heavy duty binding posts are just simply hand done up. So we just take the cover off and then we're going to attach our batteries to it. To identify your two batteries, it's best if you mark them. So we've got no mark on our main battery, and on our aux battery we've put a big black mark, so we know the difference, okay, just for safety. So we'll start by wiring up our main. So all we do is simply put the main wire onto the binding post, grab your little cap, screw it up nice and tight, and that's it, that simple. So now we'll repeat that for the aux battery. So take your binding post off, grab your aux one with your black mark, put it on your binding post, make sure you do these up reasonably tight. Obviously you don't need to go gorilla tight, but just nice and tight so that they're not going to wiggle around or come loose. Okay, so now we are going to connect the ignition sense wire, which is the white wire from the solenoid. Okay, the reason we have this wire is so on the head unit we can turn off the backlight when your car's not turned on. Stops theft factor, saves power, stops your car lighting up blue at night. Okay, but the unit still runs. So, first things first, we need to find a 12 volt source for this. Now, it needs to be 0 when the car's off and 12 volts when it's on. The best place to look is your fuse box. So we'll just go over to our fuse box here, take the lid off, and we'll look for an empty slot. Okay, we have a couple of empty slots here, so we're going to use one of them. In the lid it says it's ECU 1, so being a computer, there's a good chance it'll be 0 and 12. So we don't need the lid anymore, so we'll just pop that over there. Okay, we're going to take our multimeter now and turn him on, switch it to DC volts, and connect our black wire to a ground or to the battery negative. Okay, then we'll take our red wire and we'll put it in our little slot here, and we should see 0 on the multimeter. Okay, now if we just switch our ignition on now, we have our 12 volts. Okay, we turn our ignition back off now, and it goes away. Right, so now we will take our white wire. Now as this is just a demonstration of the install, I'm not going to run the white wire neatly through the engine bay, but you will need to, making sure nothing rotating or anything is going to get caught on it. Alright, so I've just got myself a little square pin terminal here, because it fits nicely into the fuse socket. You can pick them up at your local electronics store. So we'll just plug that into there, and it fits nicely in there. Okay, so we can just duck that out of the way for our demo, and we'll just pop that lid back on. It's not going to interfere. Okay, that's that bit done. Okay, now for the final part of the install, we take our DIN cable, we run it through the firewall, different cars, different spots, into the cabin, and then we connect it up to our head unit. For today's example, we're just going to connect it in the engine bay. So we take our DIN leads, we find the little arrow with the other little arrow, and it should go straight in nice and easy. Okay, the ignition's on, your system will come up with the display message and then go straight into automatic mode, just like that. And you can see our main battery is measuring 12.1 and our aux battery is measuring 12.6. Now if I just get my colleague to hold this, I'll just start the car for you and we'll show you the batteries linking. Okay, now that we're over our 13.2 volts, which is factory set, after 30 seconds, the batteries will link together. Okay, so once your unit's linked, that's it, your installation is complete and it's working. So for more details on how to use this little beauty, go to the operating video. Thank you very much. This was presented to you by Blacksnake Systems.